In our last series of videos, we took the Scamp on its first long road trip. We went through Maryland and Virginia, and we stopped in West Virginia at Harper's Ferry. We did a very adventurous rafting trip on the rivers right next to Harper's Ferry, and then we checked out Antietam Battlefield on our way through to Virginia. We spent 2 nights camping at Loft Mountain Campground in Shenandoah National Park, and we used one of those days to check out Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's estate. We headed up through West Virginia and did some really awesome hiking in the Seneca Rocks and Spruce Knob area. And then we headed through Pennsylvania on our way back home. We made a stop in Amish country and then headed back into South Jersey. But now we are on our way from South Jersey up to Central Jersey to Allaire State Park. You getting ready for adventures? I don't know, you look kind of sleepy. Fred! You excited? He's like, no.
Oh, do films.
I don't know what's going on. There we go, 18. You want me to get out?
Yeah.
Okay. Redford's got a pile of sticks, so he's pretty happy with that. Breaking up our firewood. And we got the Scamp all set up. Actually, we went back and forth with the leveling blocks, but we didn't even need them. It's pretty level. It's a good spot. We're right there at campsite 18, and I'm glad we went on this side of the road, if you want to call this thing a road, this little gravel path, because the main entrance road is over on the other side. So I'm gonna walk over and check out the bathrooms. The bathroom was your pretty typical state park bathrooms. There's a few sinks, a few toilets, and they actually do have a couple showers. We were just there for one night, so I didn't get to try the shower out, so I'm not sure if they had hot water or what the situation was, especially this late in the season. Sometimes those things can change. And the facilities are definitely a little bit older, but, you know, when you're camping, it does the job. There's a little trail behind our campsite, so there's the Scamp right there. And I didn't realize we're right by water. I'm not sure what it is, but over here, I was looking over from the Scamp and I was like, is that water over there? But it definitely is. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Patrick is over there getting our water because there's no water hookups at these sites, and the Scamp is already winterized because it is that time of year for sure. We were actually supposed to be out here last night, but it was really cold. The last couple days I think we hit a record for this time of year, so it was like 22 degrees the other night. Stay in. But we got the Scamp all set up. So no indoor running water, but we're just going to use our dromedary bag and our 5-gallon bag. We won't need that much because we're just here for the one night, because then I have to go back to work on Wednesday. But at least we get to be out for one night, right, Red? Yeah. One of the new things for this trip is our metal stainless steel French press, because when we were going through the mountains of West Virginia, our glass French press flew out of the top cabinet when the door opened up because we were going through some crazy windy roads and smashed all over the floor. So, upgraded to stainless steel, much more RV friendly, and actually this one's a little bit bigger. We really like it.
What you doing?
What are you doing, Red? You like the leaves? Yeah. We were having some kind of crazy weather for some reason. Last night was unseasonably cold, and today it was going up to like 65 degrees. So we waited until the warmest part of the day, and then we headed from the campground to the main part of the park where they have the little village, which is just 2 minutes up the road on the other side. We really wanted to take advantage of the sun and the warmth while we had it, because we knew the forecast for tomorrow was completely different. There was freezing rain and possible snow in the forecast. So we were enjoying possibly one of the last nicer days of the year. It's like a classier version of Batstow.
Yeah. More organized.
It is pretty cool. I guess they do a lot of photo shoots here. They were saying you need like a special permit.
Yeah. You go on a Saturday at Batstow and it's just packed with people like near red doors.
Well, that's like, remember when we were at Ocean City and like the entire beach was like 30 photographers all lined up.
Yeah.
Everybody in their white outfits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Patrick is about to move into that little house over there. It is pretty sturdy and small. Apparently this is a bakery. We wish it was open, but how neat would that be? Walk around, get some baked goods to enjoy. This property was owned by James Allaire. He purchased it in 1822 and started creating structures on the property to form an industrial complex. He was involved in the production of iron and products made of iron, And he grew the community to the point where it supported about 400 people in this little area. It continued to work and really struggled to sustain itself until 1848, when the furnaces were finally extinguished. And at that point, the property was handed down for many generations until it came to the New Jersey State Park system.
This is what's cool about the smaller campers, though. Like, if you were outside, you know, if you had a bigger camper, you wouldn't be able to just, like, have the whole experience of walking around here, go to the bakery, you know, when it's open.
Yeah.
And then, like, feel like, for kids, I'm even thinking of, like, keeping them in that world.
Yeah.
And then, like, having the fire going and everything, and the tent.
That's the good thing about having something so small. You know, I gotta double check on what the limit was. I think it was like 20 or 22 feet is the max for the campground. So we're cutting it close still.
Yeah, 16, sort of.
But this place is neat. The sleigh? It's too early. Allaire State Park is the home of the New Jersey Museum of Transportation and the Pine Creek Railroad. They run the railroad on the weekends in the fall and 7 days a week during the summer. And they do some really neat activities around Halloween and around Christmas, but since we were here on a weekday, they didn't have the trains running, but maybe we'll come back next season and check that out. Where'd your ball go? You don't know. After we had explored the park, we headed back to our campsite and spent some time playing with Redford, trying to get his energy out. He was pretty entertained by the dry leaves, and he liked running around in them and rolling in them. But we were trying to get the fire going pretty well, because our plan for that night was we wanted to cook our dinner over the fire, and we just had to spend some time getting it stable enough so that it would be easy to cook over. But for that, you're going to have to continue with part 2 of our trip to Allaire State Park.